Everyone wants change, and many of us do change for a while. We set the goal, we take the action, we feel the progress, but then life happens, stress hits, old patterns resurface, and we've talked about this in my previous videos. So before we know it, we're back to where we started. Why can't I keep up? What's wrong with me? But here's the truth. Nothing's wrong with you. Falling back into old habits isn't a sign of weakness. It's simply biology, psychology, and conditioning all at work. And today, I'm going to show you how to make change future-proof, so you never have to worry about slipping back again. Hi, I'm Marina Papa, founder of the AP Method, and if you're ready to do life, love, and success in a way that actually gets you results, then this channel and this video is for you. Now, let's get into it. Now let's talk about the hidden reason why people fall back. Now we've all heard the phrase, old habits die hard. But why? Why is it that even after you've made progress, even after you've changed, the old patterns still come rushing back at the first sign of stress? The answer lies in something called memory reconsolidation. Every habit, every emotional reaction, every pattern you've ever repeated is stored in your brain as a memory network. When you try to override that network with sheer willpower, it doesn't deplete the old one, it just builds a new one on top. Which means under pressure or under stress, your brain reactivates the original wiring. That's why you might find yourself eating the junk food again, skipping the gym, falling into the same sort of emotional reactions. Not because you're broken, but because the old network was never fully rewritten. Here's the exciting part now. Neuroscience shows that through memory reconsolidation, you can rewrite these patterns by bringing up an old memory or emotional state and then pairing it with new information and experiences. The brain literally updates the file, and that's how trauma is healed. That's how addictions are broken, and that's how transformation becomes permanent. So right here is our first truth. Future-proofing transformation isn't about willpower, it's about rewriting your memory. Now let's layer on another piece, stress. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to live your new habits when life is calm, but the moment stress shows up, the old self takes the wheel? That's because stress pushes your nervous system into survival mode. And when your nervous system is in that survival mode, it doesn't care about transformation. It cares about safety, and safety equals the familiar, which means no matter how destructive your old patterns were, if they're familiar, your brain calls them safe. And this is the exact reason why so many people relapse under stress. It's not because they're weak, it's not because there's something wrong, it's because their nervous system is wired to equate familiar with safety. Polyvagal theory, which is the science of how our nervous system responds to safety and danger, shows us that unless you learn to regulate your system, you'll always snap back under pressure. So the second truth is this: lasting transformation isn't just about new habits or new goals. It's about nervous system regulation, because when your body feels safe, it allows change to stick. And here's where it gets really powerful. Most people focus on building new habits. Some go deeper and work on building a new identity, but very few people realize they need something beyond identity, what I call an identity immune system. Here's what I mean. Think about your physical immune system. When a virus enters your body, your immune system recognizes it and attacks it. Without an immune system, you'd be at the mercy of every bacteria and virus that came your way. The exact same thing is true psychologically. Without an identity immune system, every setback, every piece of criticism, every moment of stress will pull you back to your old self. But when you build one, you become resilient. You can handle failure without collapsing. You can handle criticism without shrinking. You can handle setbacks without losing your momentum. And this is where Carl Jung's idea of the shadow comes in again. Jung taught that we all have disowned parts of ourselves, the shadow, and if we don't integrate them, they sabotage us. In other words, your identity immune system isn't built by ignoring your weaknesses. It's built by integrating them, by facing the parts of yourself you'd rather avoid. And here's the paradox. The more you accept your shadow, the stronger your identity immune system becomes. Now, let's zoom out into neurochemistry. Most people rely on dopamine to fuel their change. Dopamine is that molecule of motivation. It's what drives you to start, to chase, to push. And dopamine is amazing for getting going, but But here's the problem. It is short term. It spikes and then it drops, which is why you can feel excited at the start of a goal and then crash later. Sustainable change requires more than dopamine. It requires serotonin, which gives you a sense of stability, of contentment. It requires oxytocin, which gives you connection, belonging, safety. When you build transformation on dopamine alone, you burn out. When you build transformation on dopamine and serotonin and oxytocin, you sustain. And this is exactly why community and meaning matter so much, because they activate the neurochemistry of sustainability. Another reason why people fall back is that they expect perfection. They think transformation should be a straight line upward. But real research in resilience psychology shows that the people who succeed long-term aren't the ones who never fail. They're the ones who fail and then come back quickly. In other words, they plan for relapse. This is where most people go wrong. They make a plan for success, but they don't make a plan for failure. And so when failure comes, as it always does, they see it as a sign they're broken. They see collapse. They see failure. But people who plan for relapse, who say, I know I'll fall, and here's how I'll get back up, they don't collapse, they bounce back. They future-proof their transformation by expecting setbacks and preparing for them. Now let's get really practical. I want to give you tools that you can start using today to make your transformation relapse-proof. Tool number 1, reconsolidation journaling. When an old pattern shows up, don't fight it. Bring it into awareness, write down the trigger, the old belief, and then rewrite it with a new perspective. Over time, this literally updates your memory network. Tool number 2 is nervous system regulation. Build a daily regulation practice. Breathwork, meditation, somatic shaking, yoga. Teach your body safety so stress doesn't throw you back into the old. And tool number 3, identity immunity rituals. Every time you face failure or criticism, ask yourself, what part of me does this activate? What shadow is showing up? Then integrate it by saying, I see you, I accept you, but you don't run the show anymore. And tool number 4 is your neurochemical balance. Don't rely only on dopamine hits. Build in serotonin and oxytocin. Practice gratitude. Build meaningful connections. Anchor your change in community and meaning so it stabilizes. And tool number 5 is your relapse protocol. Write it down now. If I fall off track, what's my first step back? Who do I call? What's the minimum action I'll take to reconnect to my new identity? With this in place, setbacks lose their power. Now, I just want to pause here for a minute before I go into the last and most powerful tool to ask you a small favor. Please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And it really helps me grow this channel and reach more people who need this work. Also, thank you for being here. And now let's dive into the final piece. The final piece is knowing that insight without integration always fades. You can learn, you can get inspired, you can even transform for a few weeks, but without integration, the old patterns will always return. Integration means building small, repeatable practices that fuse your new identity into your daily life. It's not glamorous, it's not always exciting, but it's very, very powerful and vital. And I'm going to give you some examples. End each day with a reflection. How did I live as my future self today? Begin each morning with an embodiment practice. Feel the emotions of the self you're becoming. Integration is the glue. Without it, transformation evaporates. With it, transformation compounds. This is how change becomes permanent. And this is also why discovering your values is the very first step. Because values are the compass. They are the foundations of meaning. Without them, your transformation will always be shaky. With them, everything aligns. That's why I created the Discover Your Values workbook. It's free, it's powerful, and you can get it right now through the link in the description. It'll be in your inbox within seconds. And if you're ready to go deeper, join me in my live workshop in Birmingham this September, or join the waitlist for my Freedom Formula program launching very, very soon. And if you're ready for the most powerful transformation of all, working with me one-to-one, you can book a free discovery call today. All of the links are in the description. And once again, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. And I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Bye for now.